Hello everyone, and welcome back. Before we get into the video, YouTube seems to think that you guys have fish brains, so they want me to throw this out there. Before you forget, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and, stay tuned for better, bigger things, okay? Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, you probably think I'm joking though, but YouTube really does tell you, like, they'll send you emails and stuff on, how to do better on your channel and stuff. They will actually tell you to shove that in your audience's face. Let them know every chance you get to tell your audience to subscribe if they enjoy your content. So, that's what I did. Okay, before I go any further, let me just say this, okay? I am having a baby. My wife is pregnant, and my life is changing for the better. Something that me and my wife had wanted for a while. So we'll get more into that later. But before we get into some of the more serious things, I got a few things to talk about. First up being, you guys slept on this video. You see this? Okay, take a good look. Star Wars Dr. Squatch. You slept on it. You absolutely slept on it. I got like 5 views on that, okay? I'm going to go ahead and link that video at the end of this video. So, if you haven't seen it yet, go ahead and skip to the end, watch that, and then come back and watch that, okay? All right, thank you. And hell, I might even link this other video I'm about to show you too. This thing right here, Craftsman soap. All right, this is the... it's the vegan soap. It's a sampler pack. It's got like how many? It had 8. It had 8 1-ounce bars in there. I've used 2 of them. Okay. Now the thing about this brand right here in particular, right? They really caught my eye. I'm a sucker for like sample packs, especially because it gives me more content to work with when I talk about soap. The scents on these bad boys are absolutely amazing. The scent is spot on. They smell good, and they stick all right. Like when you get out of the shower, you can still smell good. Some of them, some other scents, not so much. This one, what are you smelling over there? Don't be doing nothing bad. My dogs are eating, so I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, so, on the back it says, made by hand in small batches in Los Angeles workshop. This vegan soap is a blend of natural oils and butters, from olive oil to shea and cocoa butter. We never use palm oil, and all of the colors, scents, and textures come from nature, from a variety of essential oils to ingredients like clay and ground herbs, coffee, or grains. To learn more about our soaps, visit craftsmansoapco.com. Now, that's all good. That's all good stuff. And it even says, like down here, I don't know if you can read that, at the very bottom. Let me, go ahead and pause that and read it if you can. If not, then I'll read it to you right now. This box is printed on recycled paper from a mill powered by the wind. That's great. And you know what? I'm even going to recycle this box just to complete the cycle entirely. So you can rest assured knowing that nothing in this got wasted. But I will say this, and I know it's vegan soap, but it lathers like shit, okay? And, I take what I can get. They smell really good. It makes my skin feel decent. It still gives you that kind of like sticky feeling that some soaps do, but not terrible. And the scents are there, so... I just showered like 30 minutes ago. I still smell like the soap, which I already forgot which kind I'm using, but doesn't matter. I smell good, and I can rest assured knowing that I smell good. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this brand. It's not the best, but it's vegan soap. It's natural. So, Yeah. On to the topic of the more serious stuff, okay? So, like I said, me and my wife are having a baby, and I've known this for a while now. We are almost 14 weeks, so, 3 months. Now, we waited a while before we said anything because we wanted to be sure. And if you're not familiar with like infertility and that kind of stuff, now this is kind of where it gets a little tricky because we waited as long as possible before, word had to start getting out due to her job, due to my parents, due to her friends. After a while, people want to know, well, why aren't you coming out? Why can't you do this? Why won't you have a drink with me? So, we waited as long as we possibly could just to be on the safe side. Because we didn't want to jump the gun and let everybody know, let my channel know, and then, something bad happen. Now, that doesn't mean that, because we're past a certain day that something isn't going to happen. The possibility is still there, but we feel more comfortable now than we did, let's say, a month ago. So, I can't wait to find out what we're having. Sorry, I'm not crying, I promise. It's hot as fucking here. But I think really the message I'm trying to convey is, guys and girls out there, it's number one, conception is entirely tricky. Let's say it took me and my wife, several years. It took me and my wife 3 years. Both of us ran through the ringer. Nothing was inherently wrong with her. Nothing was wrong with me. There was nothing holding us back, okay? It just wasn't happening. Whether it was due to, weight issues or health issues, everything seemed to be okay. And we were actually in process to possibly do IVF. Like, we were literally on our last legs. We were going to hop on the Clomid train, try that, and see what came of it. And if that didn't work, we were immediately going to hop on to IVF. So it literally came at the very last minute. And me and my wife kind of got to the point where we were okay with this. It sucked, but we kind of figured that, it probably wasn't going to happen naturally. So it was more of, we knew that we possibly would have a kid, but it wasn't going to be in the time frame that we wanted it to be. My cat is puking as I'm talking right now, so that's perfect. Anyway, go lay down, Ollie. Ollie's my dog, one of them. Where was I at? So it took us a little bit longer than we initially hoped. And it's weird how these things work, because me and my wife were the first ones in our family, out of the grandchildren and the children, to get married, to, be in a long-term relationship, committed, and everybody, the whole entire family, it was all eyes on us, right? And everybody, every Christmas since marriage, every Christmas, okay? We got married in 2016. We didn't really start thinking about having kids until probably, let's say 2018. Or 2019, excuse me. So 2019. So we got married in 2016. We didn't really sit down and start thinking, we should start having kids, or try to start having kids anyway, until 2019. So, every Christmas, every holiday, it was always, family members, pushing and pressuring us to have kids, which I never understood. Kind of a shitty thing to do. And it was already frustrating enough to go through that when you're not exactly ready to have kids. But when you get to a point where you and your spouse or your significant other are finally comfortable enough to start trying to conceive, and then things don't happen that way, when people start asking and they start saying, when are you gonna have kids? When are y'all gonna start having babies? That kind of stuff it really kind of wears down on these people. There she goes again. I'm trying to this is a very serious topic, and you're over there yakking on the floor. I'll get it here in a minute. Jesus Christ. But what I'm trying to say is, y'all, that let's just say this, okay? And it could have been simple. It could have been like, we could have just said, well, one of these days, and we did, like, oh, well, one of these days it'll happen. We'll have a kid to, get your panties out of a bunch. But at some point, it always made my wife feel like shit. It always made my wife feel bad about herself, and she felt more pressured than ever because people won't leave it alone. And that's a different type of pain when somebody, like when your grandparents or somebody bombards you with these questions, and you can see it in your spouse's eyes, like how much pain she's in. But you don't want to go through all the trouble. You don't want to sit your grandmother down or your grandfather or your mom and dad and be like, look, it's not, there's an issue. It's not happening like it's happening with everybody else. Because it's not, number one, it's none of their business. But, you start thinking, you want to be like, you feel like you owe somebody an explanation or something. I don't know. It's extremely frustrating. And we finally broke the news to my family this past weekend. And the same few people that had constantly harassed me and my wife about having kids made the comment saying, oh, well, we figured that, like you might be having trouble. Okay, so if you figured that, why would you then continue to ask those questions? That's a fucked up thing to do. So, moral of the story is, okay, moms and dads and grandparents out there, don't harass your children or grandchildren about having kids, because you never know, okay? You never know. Like I said, if you're suffering from infertility and you feel, not really feel, but you're getting asked these questions constantly, it hurts, like I said, I would see it happen to my wife. We would be at an Easter get-together, and my grandparents or my aunt or uncle would say something about it constantly. It was every time. It gets to a point like you can physically see the pain, and you have to play it off like, oh yeah, I know. Well, one of these days. But really, you want to be like, shut the fuck up. Let me do me. You do you. Whenever we have kids, okay, we'll have kids. And if you keep asking, nobody will ever know. You won't see them. That's what you want to say, and trust me, I've been there. So, if you're watching this video, okay, number one, if you're going through infertility issues or infertility treatment or whatever, IVF, sperm donor, whatever, I just want you to know that you guys and girls are some of the strongest people that I have ever seen. Okay, so just know that you all are spectacular. You are you. I'm serious. To go through all of this and to mentally and physically put yourself through that and go through that is so brave. It is brave, okay? So I just want you to know that, I think you're awesome. I really do. And I wish nothing but the best for anybody trying to raise a family out there. Whether that's through adoption, in vitro, sperm donor, you name it. Surrogate, doesn't matter. You guys rock. You rock. And there should be days. There should be days dedicated to these people. Anyway, I think I just went on a tangent. What I'm trying to say is, parents, excuse me, that's a reflux. But parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, just don't do it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. That's it for this video. One of these corners over here is gonna have the Dr. Squatch Star Wars video, and it's also going to have the Craftsman Soap video, and go ahead and subscribe.